Welcome back, guys, to a brand new ARK Survival Ascended news update. Today I am going to be talking about the brand new content update that is going to be coming to the game in early 2024. This is something that I needed to do, kind of explain it all to you guys, because a lot of people are confused about the difference of what's coming, what's the difference to what we have already, and it actually could be massive for the game, and I really hope it's going to be one of the things that sort of makes this game a little bit more alive, if that makes sense, and brings a lot of players to it. Because of course we've got the addition of the center now coming in February. We have the Scorched Earth map coming in March. But obviously for people that have already sort of played all of that and they want to experience something new, they might still want to look at the new maps in Unreal Engine 5 or the older maps in Unreal Engine 5. But this kind of gives players something they've never seen before. Now, if you guys do enjoy today's video and get all the news you need to know, make sure to smash that like button. It supports the channel so much. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you do want to get yourself an ARK Survival Ascended server to start off the new year, the link's going to be in the description down below. It really supports the channel. I know I say it in every video, but it really does if you use my link. And also, if you are wondering again, I know my voice sounds a little bit run down. I am still a little bit ill. I woke up this morning and I could barely speak. It's just one of those things. It's the winter. Once I'm over it, then we should be good for the year, hopefully. But anyway, so time to talk. So this was the post that came out from Studio Wildcard. So I'm going to be explaining the differences between what we're getting and what we have already. So Wildcard went on to say in their new post that we already read through, saying there's about to be a new calendar on the wall, and we fitted it with content for a Dynamite 2024 before we step away for a New Year's celebration. So this is when they posted it before New Year's Eve. And a quick recharge. We'd like to share our first quarter schedule for the coming year. So in January, the full server transfers on official servers across all platforms. Once enabled, players will be able to download items and creatures onto the map without restriction. February, like I mentioned earlier, they said, surprise, we have the new addition to the schedule of the launch of the center map, along with an early debut from the community-voted caregiver dinosaur, the Gigantoraptor. And then obviously in March, they said the launch of Scorched Earth DLC and the Frontier Adventurer Pack. Players will be able to strut in the sand in a Western style. So this was all fantastic news. This was all great. I think the cough is coming. There we go. This is all fantastic. This is all great. But something else at the beginning, which is what we're talking about today, is they say in early 2024, full cross-platform premium mods will also debut via our partners at Overwolf. We're eager to share more on all of our upcoming plans for the year, and we'll see you in the ARK in 2024, survivors. Happy New Year from the Studio Wildcard team. So, what does this all mean? What's the difference? That's what I'm talking about in today's video. So, one of the biggest additions of ARK Survival Ascended this year was the addition of the mods. Now, yes, if you were on PC, you would have known it's already been... if you're on PC, you would have known this is something you could have done on the workshop, but on console, this has been an amazing new addition, and there's been so many things which you've got access to. New maps being made. I know the new maps are still in very early mode, as you can see, like Svartalfheim is probably... You've got Insula, Ice Age, you've got Forgler, all of those different types of maps, and I know there are going to be so many more that I'm going to be checking out in videos for you guys as they get released. But people will question, what are these premium mods? Like, are they going to be some of these mods that we see already, or are these always going to be free? So all of the mods that this has been stated by Wildcard that were from the Steam Workshop before, all of these will remain completely free. A whole workshop to players that want to stick to just keeping to the standard workshop that players had on PC in the past. That's never going to charge. That's never going to be something and that was what I was so excited about, because before we had the game, I did mention to you guys that that I was really hoping that the maps, they weren't just going to be charging for paid maps and everything like that. And then we found out a little bit of information that earlier on that Wildcard and Snail Games are looking to work with big IPs for future content. So this could be stuff like them working with Jurassic World, you know, like how Rocket League have their big partnerships and everything like that. That's kind of something that we could be looking forward to working with, you know, with them working with in the future, having some big game. And I think like the addition of Vin Diesel is like the biggest thing for ARK CV. So definitely getting ahead of some, maybe a Fast and Furious DLC, you never know, on the tech car, yeah, little things like that. But that's always going to be free. But alongside that is the addition of the premium and DLC level mods. So this is going to be a totally different, separate part to the game where you will have to actually pay for these mods, but they will be DLC level. So discover new revenue opportunities by developing ARK Survival Ascended content. While most of the mods will remain free to play, which is like what I just talked about, we enable professional developers and game studios to create DLC level mods and premium content which can be monetized in-game. With the support and review of Studio Wildcard and the CurseForge team, these high quality creations can then be sold through the in-game mod store, creating a hassle-free monetization stream. So this is pretty much what is going to be going on in that sense of things. So there will be a mod store. So we have a mod list, but there will also be a mod store that you can access in the game. You will have to pay for these. We don't know the price at the moment, but 50% of the revenue goes to the mod developer and 50% of it goes to Wildcard and CurseForge, from what I know, as the last thing. So in these mods, we're looking at like brand new DLC maps. So there was actually someone that works with Wildcard now called Alex, who made the Titan map. If you guys remember, if you haven't seen it, I recommend you go check it out on my channel. Now, Alex made this made a start to one of the most incredible mod maps I've ever seen in my life, literally making it feel DLC level to me. Now, they're going to have full studios behind this, which I think the professional programmers and modders that get involved, so they're doing a contest, right? And it's called the Arkathon contest with a 350,000 prize pool. Now, the modders track, they can win up to 50k in prizes. And the studios track, they can win up to 100,000. It actually says aimed at studios and creative teams, win up to 300k in development funding. So this is literally to develop the mods to a point where they are DLC level. So these could even be better than the Studio Wildcard versions. So when I played that Titan map by Alex, I was in shock. Whereas these are going to be fully developed by studios. And the thing that why this is so great for the game is, you know, sometimes rival studios might want to make this is the contest here. Says, look, it started on December 5th, which is why they were getting ready for it in the early year, in the early new year. But the thing is, sometimes rival studios will want to make their own dinosaur game, make a sort of a rival game to ARK. And because it's such a big game, ARK, it's hard to ever really make something that's going to knock it off the top spot of the survival genre. Sometimes things get close, but it's very hard to beat a crazy, fun survival game with dinosaurs, right? So this gives a passage for studios to work kind of underneath Studio Wildcard, creating their DLC. Instead of creating a game that might not be finished, a DLC, putting all their time into it and still get paid very nice, because it's not just the development funds they'll be given, it's also the 50% they'll make off the purchases of the mods. And if we go on to the mod list quickly, and we go to total installs, the most has 3.4 million installs in automated ARK. We have 3 million in the before cryopods were added to the game. You know, so lots of millions. Now, don't get me wrong, the paid ones won't get anywhere near the same amount. Well, it depends how good the DLC is, right? But these are just like kind of free figures that you can see of what it's going to be like. So you take their 50% from that, it's going to give them more development funds, more more money to actually sort of put into their craft and create more and more for us. So we could actually end up sitting on a point with the game where we have unlimited content that we can play and actually dive into a whole new storyline, which isn't the standard ARK canon storyline that we know. So I really hope this does put things into perspective a little bit for you guys who were confused what's the difference, because this is actually huge. Like, it's not just, oh, they're going to whack on a mod onto this list and charge 99p for it. It's not going to be like it. It's actually going to be studios and very good, like, a sort of solo developers that want to do it themselves and release maybe some brand new creatures or something. So yeah, the studio side of things will be more like maps and DLCs and with storylines, and the modders will probably, I still can't really work out what that will be. But I want to take a look into the past of when I used to, on Survival, I feel very sorry for some of my old studio friends that used to create in-game mods for ARK Survival Evolved. Dragonpunk is one of the biggest ones that brings to mind. If any of you remember Dragonpunk, then you are a very, very OG player as well. But it was basically this huge new DLC level mod they were trying to bring to ARK, but they just didn't have the funding for it and they couldn't carry on, and they kept trying to come back, and it's really upsetting, to be honest, because they had so many great plans, but Wildcard didn't have these plans set in the past. So all of those studios that wanted to do it just didn't have that type of funding, whereas now they have the structure, they have the funding there, and they can really, like, it doesn't just have to be Studio Wildcard now that creates us stuff, which I think is the biggest W I've heard. No, I'm not saying their work's terrible. They've had some great work over time, some great DLCs, but it's time to open the world to completely new things we'd never imagined, and it's set to come early 2024. Hope this makes sense to you guys. Leave a like, subscribe if you did enjoy. I'm looking forward to, if you're competing in this Arkathon, or you're looking to maybe create a new idea or something, and you maybe if you're just involved in this, please make sure to comment. If you can't talk about things, then obviously don't. If you've got any like sort of like written contract from Wildcard that you can't talk about things, then obviously do not get yourself into any trouble. But if there's anything you can mention saying that you're involved, or anything you can talk about you're working on, I doubt you'll be able to talk about it until it's released. That would just be amazing. Obviously all of us players sitting here waiting for the news on it to come out. But anyway, go get yourself an ARK Survival Ascended server if you need one, and that's going to be the coolest thing. I was meant to be starting up ArkNet. Many of you guys know ArkNet was meant to be my brand new sort of community server page where there was going to be a Discord and everything. I put that on hold and for problems to get sorted out. But then I just thought, it's like, when these premium mods and I could host these like DLC level mods on certain servers so people can experience something that isn't the standard game, and then I can do standard game, everything. You get the drift. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Leave a like. I'll see you in my next video.